Hey, what's up guys? This is Ray and Simon on DHC. For those new to the show, DHC is all about what's happening around you. And today we're talking about mental health. And we're going to be talking about a little bit different topic here. It's about a little epidemic going on right now with youngsters. If you've heard of the drug called Xanax, and the title here is Children as Young as 11 Taking Xanax. So the BBC has seen a number of letters from head teachers to parents raising concerns over increasing abuse of prescription medication. One teacher said he feared pupils had made an assumption that taking Xanax was safer than using illegal drugs. Xanax, the brand name of the drug, I'm probably saying this wrong, but alprazolam, is used to treat anxiety and panic attacks. It is widely prescribed in the US and can be obtained on private prescription in the UK, but among some teenagers and young adults in Britain, it is increasingly being abused. So, I guess the biggest question in my mind is, how are these kids kind of getting it?
I think a lot of it has to do with their parents. Maybe their parents could have gone to their doctors stating they had these issues. And then kids are getting their hands on these prescription drugs like that. Yeah,
it says in here that students are finding out that that's the drug that's available. They've seen other people using it. Sometimes it's mentioned because it's an antidepressant and an anti-anxiety drug. I guess it makes sense for students to be using it because I guess they're under a lot of stress and stuff like that at school with schoolwork and assignments and tests and stuff like that. But it's funny that we've come to a point where you made the joke that people are in your day.
They were. You could buy weed from your local student.
Well, people were dealing weed in your schools, and now they're dealing Xanax. Now they're dealing prescription drugs, which is a big epidemic. It seems like that people are actually, young as, I guess, 11 years old, taking Xanax to cut the stress. My question is, what kind of stress does an 11-year-old have that they need this for?
I feel a lot of this is based off of society. There's the internet, as great as it can be to connect people, it's also a double-edged sword. There's so much cyberbullying, and sure, they have assignments that are due. Unfortunately, kids don't know what real stress is. You grow up, you gotta pay bills, you gotta look after people like that. In my mind, that is stress. Having your homework not handed in on time,
Well, I guess it's still stressful.
It's still stressful, but, the level of stress versus looking after a family or paying bills or something like that is totally different.
Definitely. You're saying in this time of, the time of our lives here that we're so technologically dependent, stress seems to be more prevalent and there for even everybody, even young as, teens and 11, 12, 13 years old. I remember, and this is kind of going to sound like a broken record, but I remember back in my time when I was 11, I was not doing anything. I didn't do anything. I literally wasn't even trading Pokemon cards. I don't know what I was doing. I was maybe just hanging out with friends, doing absolutely nothing. Not even an activity. Literally just walking and talking and not doing anything.
Oh, absolutely. I was outside with my friends all the time. I play a video game here and there, but most of the time I was outside at the playground. I was always meeting my friends to go and hang out.
Yeah.
We weren't connected as close as we are nowadays.
I think I was literally, one of the big memories of my childhood is always going to meet up with my friends to play floor hockey, ice hockey or some playing hockey somewhere, going to a community hall or even just somewhere outside. Not even a community hall, just going on the streets, putting up 2 nets, getting some sticks and a puck and just playing hockey on the road.
Playing hockey, watching for the cars. Car.
Yeah, exactly. car. Yeah, exactly. So, but you know what it is? I really don't think that's their life now.
No, it's completely changed.
I don't see enough people playing hockey on the roads when I drive in residential areas. I don't see any of that.
No, we don't. They're too busy playing a virtual game on their phone.
And we're one to talk. We're definitely dependent on our phones and stuff like that. But
sure, we're dependent on our phones, but for me personally, I use my phone for work. My entire work is on that phone, right? Whereas an 11-year-old kid, I would say he's texting a girl. He's trying to,
Yeah.
he's just found out he likes girls, right?
Yeah.
Or guys, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's more to them communication on this chat, on this social media, on playing phone games, whatever. Like a phone, my first cell phone was a flip phone, and I used it for calling.
Yeah.
In case there was an emergency.
But do you almost I almost don't even blame them. Because the technology, the fastness, the just aggressiveness of society and technology is so fast paced. They're stressed the heck out, They're stressed the hell out about everything. I feel like that's where, the kids have kind of gotten programmed to now, where there could be nothing wrong. Nothing's even going on, but they're stressed out over something.
Sure.
They're finding things to be stressed out.
Everybody I've talked to within the last year brings up the term anxiety. Anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. I suffer from anxiety. I suffer from anxiety. This, that. Anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. And honestly,
Well, you can't play it off. You can't play it off like it's nothing.
You can't play it off
because, to be honest with you and the viewers, I've suffered heavily from, anxiety over many years, and I think I'm in a better place right now. But in the past, I can see myself. It's a very tough situation to be in mentally. Mental health is at all the rage, and for good reason.
Sure. Now, what I would like to say towards that is that there are different ways of dealing with it. But you got all these pharmaceutical companies, which are billion-dollar industries, pushing these chemical medications towards you.
How are they pushing it?
They push it. You go to your doctor, you say, hey, I suffer from anxiety. Rather than telling you, you know what, if you exercise some, if you maybe went for a walk, if you had some, anything else that could be natural, right? Here's a quick fix. I give you 60 tablets of Ativan. For those of you who don't know Ativan is to help treat anxiety.
You think they just kind of default to just writing a prescription?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That industry, the pharmaceutical industry, did not make the amount of money that they do if they didn't push the product.
I wonder if clinics and doctors and hospitals, they must be getting some sort of kickback from big pharmaceutical industries, right?
Absolutely.
They get some sort of incentive to keep pushing certain drugs.
Actually, my cousin works for a pharmacy. He just graduated. He's been working for pharmacy, been giving me some inside tips on certain things, and he was telling me, it's a $1 billion industry, man. There's good money to be made here. And I was like, yeah, probably, because all these doctors are pushing all these prescription medications. And he looked at me and just giggled.
just like that. Why did he? Because it was right on the point? Right on the point.
And this isn't the first pharmacist that I've ever spoken to. I get we're family share, but I have met some pharmacists in my time. And it's always the same thing with them. They're just trying to push these medications.
People should be definitely more aware to the idea of prescription. You're right. You're absolutely right. I 100% agree. 10 years ago, anxiety, the way that word is used nowadays, it's ridiculous. It's insane.
Nobody even knew the word anxiety 10 years ago.
Yeah, if they knew it, they didn't use it to the full force like we do nowadays, right? So I think I saw something online or read something a while ago, and it was saying the exact same thing about how anxiety is just a word thrown out for every situation. I don't think we've changed so much in society from 10 years that we have. Do you think we have more anxiety now? There's something in the water. There's something going on always in the air that just is creating this anxiety in everybody? Or do you think it's the same, but we're just dealing with it with pills more?
You know what? That's funny, and I think that could branch off into a whole other topic about conspiracy theory with the government.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. That could definitely...
That could be... maybe that's episode 4. We don't know.
Yeah, that could definitely be, and that's something I love to talk about, is conspiracy theory. But yeah, well, I mean, you know what? Why don't I just hint at it a little bit? Definitely. These pills are a form of mind control.
Sure.
It's a conspiracy thing, but I totally think it is. Get everybody on the pills. Get the population on the pills. Get everybody just dumbed down, numbed out, and whatever we feed them, they're not really going to care because they're just numb. Because that's what they do. The pills actually just numb you. They don't actually... Most prescription anxiety antidepressant pills don't actually allow you to to deal with your problems better. They just numb you of the problem. It's like getting a cold and you take Advil or Tylenol or aspirin, whatever. That Tylenol syrup, cough syrup, what it is, it doesn't, scientifically proven, it doesn't actually cure your cold or your cough or your sneezing. It just numbs you of it a little bit, so you don't feel it as much, so you don't feel as you have a cold.
For people with anxiety who take this amount of medication, I mean, they're told to take so much. And then after a while, it just stops working, as any medication does. It just stops working if you overtake it. Then you got to take more of it, right?
Yeah, exactly, because your threshold is just like any drug. You know, you smoke enough weed, I'm sure you got to smoke more weed to get to that high. You take enough pills, you got to take more to feel relieved.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, geez, you might as well put a Band-Aid over your chest and then rip it off in 5 minutes, because that's literally all you did. You just put a Band-Aid on it. You're never reaching the core problem.
So it's 100% definitely unfortunate that this is what it has come to. I don't necessarily really blame the kids. I don't blame the children that are taking this, because, you know, to be honest with you, we have anxiety. I get anxiety sometimes. I get depressed sometimes. But the thing is, the most important thing is, for anybody suffering with anxiety or depression or whatever, is you will always have that. Life is anxiety and life is depression. It's just how you deal with it.
Right. That's what we should be educating children on, because children are children. They don't know any better. They look to adults for guidance.
Right.
Right? So you think, I know some parents out there too, who, if they feel there's something wrong with their child, they freak out themselves, and they just want quick fixes.
Which is a pill.
Yeah. Right, which would be a pill. They want quick fixes. So it's like, oh my God, my kid, he's not doing good in school. Take him to the doctor, they prescribe them Ritalin.
Yeah.
Right? And then all of a sudden, the kid is just completely focused now, he's dealing with this. But a lot of those medications too have side effects. So that kid in school could be doing great, but then later on he could have a huge, just exploding temper tantrum for no reason.
Absolutely. And then they wonder where this is coming from. So the temper tantrum is then given more drugs for the temper tantrum.
That's right.
And it's an ongoing cycle. The biggest thing I can say is, life is anxiety. There's anxiety in every situation. There's depression in every situation, but it's just how you look at things, right? So somebody with a really bad anger problem, right? Anything can set that person off. Anything can set that person off, right?
Sure. And
something will. In a day, something will. Maybe some other guy is not having a good day, cuts him off in the road or something like that. And you could be very angry about that situation, or you could just deal with it like nothing. Like it's nothing. It's just somebody driving into a lane. Like, why am I even thinking about these things?
Right.
Same thing with anxiety and depression. You're getting anxious over what? Over what situation? I always, you know what, one cool thing that kind of helps me sometimes is if I start getting anxiety or depressed or whatever, which everybody does, I imagine myself like leaving where I am right now and like going off and starting a whole new life on like an island or whatever, or like a different country. So I imagine myself like leaving here and I go to a different country and I just start a new life. Then I think, well, if I did do that, all my problems would actually just disappear. So if I'm thinking about something very specific in my situation right now, in this city that I live in, like I'm worrying about something, maybe my job or something like this, and I just take myself out of that, and I say, well, if I did do that, then everything would just be fine. I wouldn't worry about that anymore. So why am I worrying about it now? It's not really an issue, it's just I'm making it out to be bigger than it is.
True.
Right?
Not bad. I mean, you could start new problems in your new fantasy and just alter back to the other one.
Well, you could, but then again, I guess I could just take some Xanax, really, and be all good with it.
Oh, damn.
Thanks for listening, and if you liked what you heard and have feedback for future topics, please email us at dhcconvos, that's dhcconvos, @gmail.com. For YouTube, please make sure to comment your thoughts on this week's topic below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more content. Until next time, this is Ray and Simon with DHC.